And I'm going to open it in a separate window to see if it's actually working. Okay. Your channel. Okay. And you disappeared.
Oh.
Uh-oh. In the meantime, I am just popping this on. Why'd your camera go out?
I'm still on my
You
side.
are. Why is this not? Oh, there you are. Cool. It's all good. Oh, it's because I hid you behind something else.
Hey,
That's
we
why.
have sound apparently.
Hi. Yes, we do. Hello, everybody. The what the fuck was I gonna say? But yeah. Anyway, here we are. I'm Anders, and we are just gonna be taking a look at uh the whole new Warhammer thing today to see what's going on there. I think we have an echo here. I need to get rid of. There we go. It's gone.
Perfect.
Cool. But yeah, so today there's going to be supposed to be some reveals for the whole MESBG thing, and we're going to take a look at it. In the meantime, you know who I am. This is my friend Sam. So
Hello.
Sam, do you want to introduce yourself to chat people to say why you are the most competent person to discuss everything MESBG?
I sure can.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't know if I'm the most competent person.
I think you should just lie.
Okay. We'll go ahead with a full-on lie.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Sam. I've been playing MESBG for almost a decade now, and I'm definitely the best player in Canada right now. So,
Weren't we just talking about how you finished 7th in a tournament?
yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, perfect.
No, I enjoy the game and play it very competitively as well as for fun. So, but I have been following it since 2008. So,
You were a wee babe.
yes, I was very young. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to today and getting to see where we go next.
Very cool. Very cool. But yeah, so, and I actually put out a little poll on my Instagram about what people thought was going to happen. Obviously, and this is no secret, people have been talking about this for ages. The big kind of thing people want to see is a Last Alliance supplement. I have my opinions on whether or not that's going to happen. What do you think, Mr. Sam? Do you think a Last Alliance supplement is likely in terms of a thing?
I think it's very likely.
I
It'd
think
be
you are
very
wrong.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think there's like a 70% chance we get one.
You have. I would. Okay. Okay. Sure. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I think you're wrong, but I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I think that would be rude of me to do. But yeah, personally, I don't know. I don't feel like I would be surprised to see them do that with Rings of Power going on, frankly. Just in terms of like a rights issue. But yeah, I think they're not going to touch that until like something is sorted out with that. I don't know what that would be, but something.
I see where you're going there.
Yeah,
I get it now.
Yeah. The other thing with that, and I was talking about this because the other thing, the kind of dark horse kind of guess that people have been talking about is like if they actually do get the Rings of Power license, and I've like, where do you stand on that? Do you think that was likely, or do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, or any of that kind of stuff?
I think we're not going to see any of that anytime soon.
I agree as well.
And then to say that they're trying to get it, I'm not even sure if they want to get into that either.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I agree with you for a slightly different reason, but I do agree with you.
What's your reasoning?
My reason is copyright and like IP law is complicated and weird.
Hmm.
And technically speaking, Rings of Power isn't the same IP as like the Peter Jackson stuff. It's
Interesting.
not because it's not they're not technically related, which is what
No.
makes the like I know it's Weta that's working on it. And that's what makes stuff like the Balrog looking the same. It's kind of weird, but because they're not technically linked, which gives them that makes them open to do that. But I also suspect even if they got the license, they may not be allowed to combine them into one game. You see what I
Ah.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
So
would be an
they'd
issue,
have
yeah.
to do like they might for legal reasons or something. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just pretending to be. Um, they might have to like have them in two different game systems, kind of like 40K and 30K.
Well,
And
a bit like they did with Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit when they first came out.
were those separate systems? You could still play.
Uh, they were kind of separate, whereas I think in one part of the books it said you couldn't play these together,
Is
but
that
people still
actually
did.
true? I didn't.
I think when I started, I remembered seeing that you couldn't play both allied together, but everyone did.
I was about to
Uh,
say I like. So I didn't really get into the gaming side of it until, uh, like I don't remember. It was like a year before There and Back Again came out, so I
oh
missed
yeah,
the kind of heart of the Lord the Hobbit stuff.
yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's my prediction. The other kind of prediction that some people have had, which obviously I would love, is some kind of I don't want to just say Arnor kind of supplement, but like something like that, like some kind of like Northern Kingdoms type supplement that would cover like Arnor or like more Eriador stuff. Like what was that old supplement? It was is it Arnor and Flames? Arnor at War? You know the one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have it right back there, but I'm not gonna go get it. That's too much work. But yeah, some kind of new version of that. Uh, let's see what people are thinking. Yeah, Fall of Arnor is something people are talking
Oh yeah,
about.
yep.
Someone mentioned actually in Instagram as well that like it's been a long time since like they've done dwarves, which I both get and don't get because one, it's not actually. It's like they just did War in the North. But I think the issue with that is like the release of that stuff was so spread out.
Yep.
So like I think it feels like it's been longer than like the release of Dane and the book should have been closer together. And I think that would have made it felt like there was actually happening sooner together.
Yeah.
But
I think dwarf side of it, I think we're thinking more of Khazad-dûm and even Blue
mm,
Mountain dwarves, right?
yeah, that's probably true. That's another thing. I'd be surprised to see how much of that they do now that they have the whole Hobbit stuff.
No, exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
which is my other potential thought. This get a little bit out of left field, but like they haven't done anything Hobbit related for a long time. Like, I guess again, War in the North was like tangentially Hobbit related, being
Yeah.
like that, but there wasn't anything like truly like Hobbit movie related. Um, however, I don't know if you just saw this. Ryan there just mentioned something that made me think about it. Let me see if I can just share the image of it because I downloaded it. Bum 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 bum. One second here, because there was a teaser
Hmm.
posted today. Cancel image that had a silhouette that I guess might be a hint to stuff.
Mm. We like hints.
We do like hints, so I'm going to share this on the stream. I don't know if you can see this. It was on. If you go on like GBHL, you'll see it. It's like a 1 hour to go kind of
Yeah, yeah, and
thing.
then there's a silhouette on the
Yeah,
right
which is
of what
clearly a
Middle Earth.
Nazgul.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly a
Is it
Nazgul.
clearly a Nazgul?
I that's a Nazgul, and like what they mentioned is like it looks like the Nazgul hunched over the hobbits, um, in
Oh, that's a good
in
thought.
Fellowship, right? Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the pose, the leg up, the hunched over look. It looks a little bit tainted to me,
Yeah.
which actually,
Although
mm-hmm.
that wouldn't make I mean it wouldn't make sense for this release, but hey,
For
who
what
knows?
release?
I don't know.
That's the whole point. We don't know what the release is. It probably does make sense for the release, but we're pretending that
Probably.
we know what the release is going to be.
Yeah.
But going back to Arnor and stuff, this is, I'm just thinking about this now, but this is a way out there kind of thing. I did say Tainted, and Tainted is technically in the Angmar list, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's vaguely Angmar Arnori kind of.
Sure is, and I think
Oh, my
there's
brain just shut
room
off.
there.
I'm so fucking tired. We kind of glossed over that like for you in the UK, anyone watching from the UK, I'm sure it's nice and like cozy at like noon. It's fucking 6:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since 5:30. I don't know about you, Sam.
About the same, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And Buddy, our kid, is coming up to 7 months old now, and he's still. I don't think it's not crazy unusual. He still struggles at night, and he had a real bad night last night. So I was up about my wife more, but me as well, because I try to get up with her every time. But like up every hour last night, so I got probably a cumulative like 3-4 hours sleep, maybe.
Ah,
I was also up for a little bit last night trying to sort all this shit out, and that didn't fucking work. So whatever. Which is why we were late, because I was futzing with OBS because. I said again, I was telling this to Sam, but for all of you, so in terms of cameras, everything, I love what you can do with it. I like editing, I like doing all that stuff. I hate the technology. I just have no patience for camera settings or audio settings, which is part of why I just bought like a new fancy mic, because it felt as like plug and play as possible. So if it sounds better, I hope it sounds better. That should be why it sounds better. I never really asked if the audio is like. I know people said they could hear us, but like, hear us would be. Okay,
yeah,
I have
maybe
no
we're all just
context on
jumbled
this,
together.
but like, so, someone's saying they want a hungover Aragorn. Frederick wants hungover Aragorn. So I don't know what that means, but I now also want a hungover Aragorn miniature.
I mean,
So.
I'd like I like a Legolas and Gimli drinking contest. Is that something someone can do, please?
I think so. I think it should come with a set of little hairy women as well, right?
Perfect.
Cool. Anyway, it is 7 o'clock now, noon, you Brits time. So I'm just gonna bring up the stream here, and bring it over. And I just got muted for now. I'm just going to wait until it actually goes live. I don't want the most recent video. Wait, why is this not? What's going on? Are you live now? What are you doing, Warhammer?
It's not live. I think they paused.
I think they did.
Yeah. Because I'm on there too. And waiting.
Do you spend much time on Twitch?
Sometimes. There's a few content creators I follow solely on Twitch.
Yeah.
So I do.
What about on Twist?
On Twist?
Yeah.
That's a very good question.
That's a very good question, eh?
No, nothing there.
Perfect. Frederick says the video keeps freezing. Who knows? And I don't know what 6 minutes left means. But whatever. I'll pretend stuff. I'm just going to look through while we wait just what kind of weird comments. Again, I'm surprised. There's a lot of people just kind of chit-chatting in there. I'm sorry I was a little bit late. We're in now. We got like 30 people watching. That's fun for as few often unoften as I do streams to have people just actually hear. Bill's return to Bree is Bill the Pony not available on Forge World anymore?
Oh, is he not?
Must be. Oh no, he wants a diorama. Okay.
Okay.
Arnor is a big one. Plastic Race is selling stuff instead, and well, that would actually make sense based on that kind of that picture. Some Plastic Race set. I've heard people talk about it before, and like that makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know how they would release that. I feel like you couldn't just do one. It would have to be multiple to make like the unnamed race make sense. And I don't know if they'd be willing to do, because that's the other thing with this. Any prediction wise, it's all fun and games to talk about like what we'd love to see, but like at the end of the day, GW is a large corporation, and what they're doing is money. So
Yep.
if they haven't released multiple like hero sets, I can't see them just doing that out of the blue. The other thing, I know now the implication is it's gonna be what, Fellowship related, but like it also makes sense that they like keep on with like the Osgiliath stuff. They did that big push about like Battle in Osgiliath and everything.
Yes,
So
that's
and
true.
this year is the 20 year for Return of the King, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense if it was Return of the King related, but
it would.
there's been no shot of that.
No.
So who knows? All of this is just kind of spitballing. Isengard terrain. That sounds cool. Thorongil. That's a cool thing. They've been releasing a bunch of those like in the made to orders and stuff. They've released the like unreleased stuff that have come out. Like what was the was it Hama? No, it was a Gamling that had never been released before that was released in the made to order at one point, wasn't there? It was either Hama or Gamling. I can't remember which.
I think it was Hama. I'm not sure.
I want to say it was Gamling.
No, I mean, it might have been the Gamling without the banner.
That one was, but
yeah.
I think that one was released at some point. I think you're right. I think it was like a mounted Hama or something. Or maybe I'm just making that up. No, it was mounted Gamling. I was going to get him and paint him as mounting Hama. But I didn't because I don't actually care that much about Rohan.
Justin says Gamling without banner, so
Gamling without banner. There you go.
I'm gonna take that as a win.
Hi, Justin. Speaking of which, Arnor Spearman, just Arnor in general, I'd be super into a re-release.
Please, just something.
It wouldn't even take that much. Like Arnor,
it would not.
They need like 2 profiles, and they don't even need to be new profiles. Like honestly, even just I've said this with a bunch of people like on Instagram and stuff like that, but like just adding Kings of Men into the Arnor list would do so much for army building.
Oh yes.
And it would be so thematic because it's like the only place you could have multiple kings in the same army. So it would make a lot of sense, and then you could do like multiple different kind of like legendary legions with like Cardaland of 3 different kingdoms, maybe slaying Arnor and Angmar, Rudor and Angmar related or something.
Yep.
Oh, you could even sorry. That's another fun thing. Speaking of like profiles that like already exist, they could add in. Like we already have like Hillman, Wildman, so just including Wildman as an option for like a Rudor army list would be perfect.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Someone just mentioned Dunlending's in the Angmar list. Frederick again. Yeah, makes complete sense.
Yep.
Arnor Royal Guard. Yeah, that was the other thing. Some kind of elite troop choice would be big.
Oh yes.
Obviously, if there would be nice to have Cav. Cav's always fun. But who knows? Because I know there's like the whole like, does Numenor have cavalry or not? And I guess that kind of extends into Arnor.
Yeah.
I think that's all kind of nonsense. But like, I don't know. I just talked about that in that video.
Yep.
Aranath, son of Arvedui. Yeah, just there's so much. It's funny, like in terms of like named characters, there's so much stuff. Oh, did stream start? They said.
Is it? I don't know. I'm on there. It's not started.
Yeah, I'm on there too.
I'll just.
Refresh. Yeah, it is starting. There's two men sitting there, funny looking. And now I'm getting an ad for Scream 5 with Wednesday in it.
Oh, I'm having an ad for Skip. So.
Oh, for Skip?
Yep.
I mean, Skip the dishes?
Yep.
Oh, how? Oh, now I have food. Oh, it's McDick's. Oh. I like a McDick's. No, I regret saying that immediately. No, that's like my like travel and like tournament food.
Oh yeah.
No, so they are on, so I'm going to turn the volume up so we can hear them a little bit. Oh, they're talking about Warhammer 40,000. I don't care.
It's a great show.
Yeah, they're gonna go through what is it,
Yeah, obviously,
40K and
some
Age
very
of
cool stuff
Sigmar
this morning
before
with
they
the
get
new edition
to.
of Warhammer
I thought that already
40,000
happened. I
Launchbox
thought 12 was supposed to be
showcase. That's been
specifically
a big theme for this
MESBG.
edition
I think they
of
had three
Warhammerfest.
three
But
three
that's
things
not
at
the
12.
only thing that happens in Warhammer.
Oh.
There's all sorts of
Nice
different
ads,
things we've got.
yeah.
And in this preview,
Everyone
we're going
knows
to show you
what-
a little bit of
I guess
what's coming
Google
up
thinks I
for
want to see
Warcry,
now.
for Middle-earth,
Not
and for
Google. I guess
Warhammer
Amazon,
Underworld.
right?
Have you been doing any hobby related to
Amazon
games
owns
at the moment?
Twitch, right?
Not particularly. I've been doing
Yeah,
Some-
because you can do
yeah.
Prime subscriptions to
yeah,
Twitch,
exactly.
right?
Okay,
Yeah.
close enough. I'll take that.
So
Yeah, machine.
I've got this playing. If someone could let me know how volume-wise everything is
Yeah, I've been
sounding.
doing some dabbling a bit of Warcry.
Uh,
A bit of Warcry. Bit of dabbling every now and again.
Yeah. So does
Cool.
our volume
Okay, well,
and their volume?
Thank you so much for coming, guys. We're going to jump in and
balance
start looking at
nicely?
some of the previews. We're going to start off.
I can turn them up, turn them
with a little
down.
bit of
I can shut
Warhammer
Sam off.
Underworlds, and we've got the next warband
Ah.
preview for this
Okay,
season. Weird
so
Hollows. So let's have
I
a
guess
look at
they're
after.
talking. They are talking about other non.
Yep.
Stuff.
Hey,
Actually,
these
I
are
might-
your guys.
Yeah, I was about to say. I might mute this for now because I don't really care.
Your barrel whites.
My barrel whites. Yeah, clearly this is an MESBG section now. But yeah. Oh, those actually look fun. Oh, I like those quite a bit actually.
They look pretty good.
They
Yeah.
do, cool. Underworlds is good for that, honestly. There's been a lot. I haven't because like, what the fuck am I really gonna do with them? But there's been a lot of those like Underworld war bands that I've been very tempted to pick up, and there's still some I think I will. Like there was that like, there's like a very clearly Mordheimy Witch Hunter war band that came out.
Oh yeah.
Was it last year? They look great.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get them and put them in my.
Yeah, if you wanted to add barrel whites to your army, I think this would be a
This
good
would be great,
kit
yeah,
to grab.
because they're cheap. Actually, I
Oh,
was
yeah.
going to say they're not actually not that cheap anymore. They used to be
No.
like $30 a box, and now they crank up to like 50 something. So at that point, you may as well just get the chain rasps because one, the box of them I think is like $60 or something, and you get 10 of them.
Yeah.
And two, they're freaking everywhere in terms of like, used models.
Yep.
So, yeah, maybe it's worth it. Maybe not. I don't know. So yeah, Hagen Dice. I get when it comes back on. I muted it for now because it's not MESBG. But once it comes back on, I'll pump them a little bit sound wise.
We're not biased at all.
We're not biased. Do you know what?
We
Like,
kind of are.
We kind of are. We absolutely are. And I definitely defaulted that. Like, what I was gonna say is like, I do like other stuff. Like, I don't know if you know, and I've been posting about it. Like, I did paint my first ever Space Marine.
There you go.
The other week. Technically speaking, I painted one Terminator when I was like a wee lad because I got it free in White Dwarf. But and I guess Terminators are coming back now in 40K. And the Age of Sigmar and fantasy stuff, I've always liked the look of. That was always my favorite thing, looking at in the old White Dwarf stuff. So like, and I've got the beginnings of a little kind of like Cities of Sigmar army. I'd like to give it a shot at some point.
Yep.
Old World, I'm actually kind of quite interested to see what Old World is. It would be fun. I've got some of those old models. It'll be just fun to see what comes back for it. I'm sure whatever comes back will be stupid expensive, but like,
Probably, yes.
whatever. Do you have any interest in any of the other non-MESBG games? Games Workshop? In any
Not
level?
really. No, I have to say no.
No, that's both
As
gaming
much
wise and
as much as
cat.
my cat. As much as I would want to, no. I just try not to go there. Just because it's expensive and
Yep.
because at some point
It's
I
very
only
expensive.
have a specific bandwidth of brain power.
Yep. That makes complete sense to me. Yeah, no, I definitely have moments where I get tempted by stuff, and I do buy the odd thing here and there.
Yeah.
Like, again, I was painting some Space Marines, so I bought them like a little, like one of the really small, like $50 starter kits that has like 10 models in it. Because there was exactly the right amount of Space Marines to like do a kill team, so I got that to try out kill team. Played it
Yes.
once, never touched it again. So they've just been sitting around, primed. But I did pick up because it just looked really cool, like one of those dozens of Space Marine like Primaris lieutenants. There was just one that looked really cool, so I'm planning to paint him up. And in terms of like, I really like the look of like classic Empire and some of the old fantasy stuff. So that's the kind of things there. And some of the retro stuff is fun. Like again, I picked up through like lots and stuff in the past. I've got a bunch of old like Chaos Warriors and things like that.
Nice. Yeah, you've got just a whole bunch sitting around.
I have so much shit, man.
Yeah, and the box sets you bought when they came out, and
What box sets?
what
box
box
sets did I
sets? What? I don't know.
Are you talking about like the Age of Sigmar starter set, like the Dominion?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got Curse City, so that's sitting around.
What box sets?
I don't remember. I was trying to think if there was something else, but those have been like 2 years now, so we can pretend they didn't happen. I do want to paint up. I really like the way like some of the newer Stormcast look, so I'd like to paint them up because you can actually like in City of Sigmar, you can have like a combined Stormcast and like the regular guys. So I have like this whole like story in my head about like let's talk about fascism. But like. But the Stormcast have the same kind of thing that like Space Marines have, where like they presented as like the big poster boy kind of thing, not as much as Space Marines, but they're awful.
Are they?
They're horrible, like golem monsters. Like I just remember there was a during one of the big first events for like Age of Sigmar, they were posting about little stories, and I remember this one. If anyone knows it, they'll let me know. I don't remember what it was. It was ages ago now, but like they talked about like I think it was like a Nurgle rot was taking over a lot of the area, and these Stormcast would just go through and everyone would be excited because they think they're gonna get saved, and then they just start murdering everyone because they're zealot like possessed weird monster things. So I like the idea of like there being like a kind of lost city of just humans who are being protected by like some like Stormcast that are garrisoned in the city, but everyone's just fucking terrified of them. So like there's like a resistance between the humans and the Stormcast. I think that's a fun idea. So I'd like to paint those up eventually. I painted one single box. Actually, that's not true. I was gonna say I painted one single model from the Dominion box, but I did cut up a lot of the like. It is starting. A lot of the grots.
Okay.
Let's see what's going on.
We have loads of really cool stuff coming up for Middle Earth, but unfortunately at the moment our hands are tied a little bit in terms of what we can talk to you about. But we did manage to
so we're not seeing
look
anything.
At, one particular
Probably not.
That's coming up
Probably like one model.
which is a miniature that the studio has made as part of the celebration of the 20th year. 20 years.
20 year. Yep.
The Middle Earth Lord of the Rings films came out. So this is a
Return of the
really
King.
classic collector's piece that you can
No,
use your game.
it's gonna be
designed to be.
It's gonna be the Nazgul and the Hobbits. It's gonna be the Nazgul and the Hobbits.
It could be.
I'll bet this was
Oh, look at that.
Very cool.
That is the exact reaction we wanted.
I was the only person who ever guessed that. Clearly it is me. I am the smartest. There you go.
That is
So
an
I think
awesome
most of you probably
diorama
recognise
model.
The scene. This is a absolutely iconic scene from the Fellowship of the Ring, which is the scene where
So-
the Ringwraith is searching through the Shire, looking for the Hobbit.
What is hungover
I think it was on
Aragorn?
the
He keep
posters,
mentioning
actually,
that.
for
Like,
the
was he
film itself.
hungover in the
might even have been on the
movies?
rule
Am I
book
forgetting
that we did.
something?
Oh, they're thinking about when he fell off
really, really
after the
beautiful
Warg
scene. You've
attack, and
basically
he
got
made his
the
way
Ringwraith,
back
I think,
to.
has come
Oh.
going through the Shire.
That's
You've
what
got
they're
the
talking
four
about.
Is
hobbits
that like a
underneath.
okay?
I don't
I don't even know
We've
that.
got some close-ups.
There's someone mentioned it in the
Oh,
comments.
okay.
The Hobbits first.
Thank you for reading my comments
that is,
for me.
I think I'm right in saying our first cabbage that we've released.
It's certainly the highest number of vegetables
This-
on a
yeah.
model.
That's probably true.
It looks okay.
There is a slightly broken
I don't
carrot
love it,
at the bottom
honestly.
of the scene
No?
you can see there as well. And
war-
you've got the Hobbits.
they all look- Maybe it's just
tree.
this is
The
the thing.
Ringwraith
I know the
itself,
Forge World paint
is
jobs are
probably the
good, but
most
like
detailed
sometimes they
Ringwraith
feel a bit
we've released yet. So,
weird
it's
to
done
me.
In Forge World,
Yeah, like
I
the
think
zoom
really,
up on the
really,
faces here. I'm
It
not,
looks a
I'm
bit
not a
rough.
huge
And, like,
fan
take
of.
the
but
Ringwraith out of
the
the base.
posing of the Ringwraith looks kind of awkward.
If you want to
So,
do a wraith-heavy
I
list.
feel like their heads are all too
you can
small
have another
recently.
sculpt
Like the
basically
Witch King
for
without his
other
helmet
teams. But I think for the
Oh,
most
yeah.
looks
part,
weird in my opinion.
the people picking this
Also,
up are probably going to be
why are you-
some people who are
You should
looking
always
for
Why
have
does
a
he not
pointy
have
hat.
his
He
Wellman?
needs to have his, he needs to have
just a
his pointy
really,
hat.
really nice opportunity basically to do
Yeah, that's
something
fine.
different. And the
That looks cool.
Warhammer Studio
That's very
basically
pretty.
like,
I would really like
let's-
to see.
We've got a little bit
that
of a
painted up
breather.
by
Let's do something cooler
people.
than usual.
Oh, yeah.
So, Hopefully you guys enjoy that and you'll pick one up and enjoy.
Actually, a guy I
painting it.
follow,
Right, I'm afraid that's all we've got to
Steve
tell you about
Angelo
Golden Links, but we'll
on
have more
Instagram
news for
is
you
bringing
very
some really
soon
nice
about
stuff for
more
Golden
stuff, but
Demons. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the Golden Demon stuff.
But we do have some
because
war
you can
cry
paint up
We
some
do indeed.
beautiful
to talk to you
stuff.
about. So,
Yep.
we
That was it.
are
Thanks for
in
coming.
the
Sorry.
Nardwood once more, and we're going to have a look at another video.
That was it?
No. I
Did
think
they
they
just say
mentioned
that?
No. They mentioned they had a whole bunch of stuff later, but that they were going to show this one now. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
What the fuck?
I think they're just going through bits.
Okay.
And then we'll go more into it.
Wait, is this another Warcry box set? Didn't they just release a new Warcry box set? Like, wait, no, I was thinking Underworlds. They haven't done a new Warcry box set in a while. Actually, that's another game I would like to give a shot. Apparently, that actually is quite a good rule system. Warcry. It's like the skirmish version of like Age of Sigmar. And I've heard people mention that it's got a very I don't want to say MESBG feel to it, but it's kind of like I was listening to like the painting phase with like Peachy and stuff, and he was comparing the two games, saying that they have a
yes.
similarity. And those models look really cool. Once again, cool Stormcast that also look utterly evil, and some very good fleshy chompy boys.
Yep.
That's always fun. I like the ghouls. I think they'd be good bits for like making nasty orcs and stuff.
Oh
Mix
yeah,
them up.
yeah. I agree.
Oh my god.
Just buy it, cut it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything gets cut up.
Yep.
But and the Warcry terrain is really nice too. I actually saw those like I don't know if have you seen these trees they have in some of the sets before? I don't know if you're still watching the stream, but like,
I am. Yeah.
they're supposed to be made of meat. They're like meat trees.
Meat trees.
Meat
Nice.
trees. And they're surprisingly big. I saw them in store for the first time the other day, like built, and they're like, I don't know, they're about the size of a Transformer Voyager figure, because that is a main reference point for everyone here.
Thank you.
I think that would be a very helpful point. This is in fact a shattered glass Megatron. That's always fun. Because I know that's the really thing everyone is interested to hear is about like Transformers and stuff. Because there was a new trailer for the new movie that's coming out soon, and they did announce Unicron, so that's very exciting. It'll probably be terrible, but I quietly really like Transformers. I don't know if I mentioned that before.
Once or twice.
Actually, something might happen Transformers related on the channel at some point. I do have a plan.
Okay.
My brain just keeps shutting down. This is too early, and there's too little stuff. Was that really it? They must have said.
I hope not.
Did people catch that they said there was going to be more? I know people are just saying like, that can't be it. This has been on. They put this on like the actual like. And now like, what the fuck? If that's it, that's insane.
Yeah. Well, we did say it was going to be utterly disappointing.
Yeah, but like one single diorama that isn't even a gaming piece, because like, is there an unmounted version of that ring wraith?
Actually, no. I hope there is.
There
but
isn't.
you saw in the base there that you could remove and play the Nazgul.
I did. They did say that. They said it could be a gaming piece as well.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I doubt the Hobbits will be a gaming piece, but
of course not. And again, it's a Nazgul. So, and I think do they only? I'm pretty sure they only sell like the unnamed ring race in like a single set now, right? Like you have to buy all of the foot models
unnamed?
together.
The foot models, I do think, and then the mounted are
It's
packs
in like
of
packs
three.
of 3, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to get, let's say you're starting out from scratch. If you want to get an unmounted version for that mounted ring wraith, you have to buy nine models.
I hope they thought about making a dismount for him.
So here's another thing, because they specifically mentioned 20-year anniversary.
Yep.
It is not a 20-year anniversary of Fellowship anymore. That's 2 years ago.
Yep.
Which sounds a little bit like maybe it was delayed due to something that happened in the world over the last couple of years that affected production timelines and such. I would not be surprised if that was supposed to come out like actually when Fellowship
2 years ago.
Yeah, I bet it. I would bet that.
What did they release for
Fellowship?
Yeah.
Nothing. I think they probably did a made to order. But there was no like specific like models and stuff, and everything else like big model wise. I guess Elrond you could say, because that's like Last Alliance themed.
Yeah.
But, like that's real tenuous. Yeah. Someone mentioned that's probably Frederick again was saying that's probably a delayed. Yeah, because I guess Quest for the Ringbearer. Like, was there anything that came out model wise for Quest for the Ringbearer?
Yeah, and that's a good point there from Frederick as well. The Ammon Hen statue head. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, because that's all Forge World, right? So like they have their own production thing, the side of stuff, and it's all internal to the UK. So yeah, I'm sure that's a delayed. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't decide how goofy I think it's going to be if that is really. What is the schedule?
The only thing
that cannot be, because like, what the fuck? Now I'm curious. I'm gonna go look at the schedule again. If that's really it.
They had a start time. I didn't see an end time for it.
They didn't. But like, what's the start time for the next thing? Also, like, this would be the only thing they like broke up. Like they aren't doing more Underworlds now. They moved on to Warcry. So like, why would they break up MESBG between other things?
That's a very good point.
I think that was
because maybe there's too much later, and they just wanted to tease us.
Clearly, yeah. No, it's all that manufactured hype, right?
Yeah.
I did see someone mention, just to touch on it, that like they said like, oh, pipeline stuff, and someone thought, oh, Rings of Power referred to the beginning of the podcast. I would be flabbergasted, frankly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To use a word I don't use lightly, flabbergasted. If that was actually going to be a thing, I think for multiple reasons, none of which has to do with the quality of the show. Just to nip that in the bud, because there are people who are going to say like, oh, why would they want to go anywhere near that? Y'all are nonsense. But not for that, but for like just like legal and rights reasons, I would be astounded if that came out. Yeah. I'm trying to bring up the schedule here. Radar Live blog. No, where is it gone?
I think if clearly it's going to be Forge World.
I think they even said Forge World.
Yeah. So I think the only way I would get in on this is if you get the Hobbits separately running.
Not gonna happen.
No, it's not gonna happen. I'm pretty sure this is just like a display piece.
It's just a display piece. It's like it looks. Do you know what? Actually, speaking of like delayed implication, that looks very very character series to me, which was like a thing that had what?
Oh man,
3 entries and then just kind of, or 4 entries and just kind of disappeared and stopped happening because it was because Dane was Dane part of the character series?
Yep. Dane was part of the character series.
Okay. And then Thranduil and Elk obviously was like the only one that had like a display base and stuff. And I guess Thorin and Azog were probably technically part of that.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
I don't know if they used that like wording or branding with it, but like
Gwahir as well.
Yeah, but Gwahir was just like a recast of like the plastic, wasn't he? With like a converted Felwarg on the base.
Yep. But hey, he's still part of the series.
He's still part of the series. That had no connecting tissue around it, except for a big hunk of expensive resin that you had to buy with your model.
Yeah,
that looked really nice. Admittedly, it was really nice, and I would love to see more of the character series. I'm being critical now, but like, it was nonsense. It got quietly dropped. I think actually, speaking of that, just to go on a complete tangent, what I kind of would really like is, in terms of character series stuff, is they should do an updated Beorn through there. Ooh. That would be the place to do that.
They would, yep.
Baron's model kind of sucks.
He does.
Yeah. The man version looks really cool, both of them. I like those. They don't work aesthetically with the rest of the Baronings
At all.
But his bear is a big old pile of chunky beer gut bear.
Yep.
Yeah, and obviously going back to stuff, that's going to be a really expensive piece there.
Yep.
That Nazgul and his little hairy-feeted boys.
Yep.
I'm just kind of taken aback, honestly, if that really was it. I guess, yeah, it just says noon. There's nothing scheduled for after this, so it's possible after they're done talking about Warcry and these angry naked boys that something MESBG will come up. That looks MESBG.
Oh, that looks
kind
nice.
of image.
I like that.
I like that image. That actually. So, speaking of non-MESBG again, that looks very Harrenhal to me.
Ooh.
House of the Dragons was very good.
I have not.
It is so much better than I assumed / thought it should or would be.
Well, it did have a big. I mean, it didn't have to live up to something amazing, right?
But it had to live up to the imaginary version of the full show that people had in their head, and had to redeem that. But it's, I don't know, the concept of it was so silly in my head, and the initial pictures of every single actor in goofy looking blonde wigs just made me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Matt Smith is a weird looking guy, and he looks even weirder blonde. But it's actually very, very good. Like, it's I don't know if I'd quite say it's better than Game of Thrones, like, overall, but it's definitely at, like, high end Game of Thrones level. Like, Game of Thrones kind of in its peak in the middle kind of stuff. It's very much that kind of level. I want to paint some dragons now, but yeah, that artwork made me think of Harrenhal. So
nice. There's
that. Yeah. People are talking about Baron again. Yeah, it's yeah. That's a funny thing. There's a lot of options for, like, alternative bear models.
Yep.
I don't like most of them, and I find them, like, surprisingly, like, unless you're going for, like, something specifically, like, made for it, like a Diwali or some other thing, they're all weirdly the wrong scale. Like, there's so many. Finn, it's done. That, what the fuck? Why would they put that on the thing?
Wow. So that was it? Wait, what? Did I miss something?
And the fin.
Is that it? It just stopped after? Yeah.
It just stopped. It was up for like 5 seconds, and then just popped off. That's funny. Wow. Okay. That's absurd.
Well, there's nothing much to unpack here.
No, really not. So, I don't even know where to go with that. Like, that was astonishingly little stuff for having that on the, like, docket. Well, it's a nice looking model, but, like,
it is nice.
So that goes into the whole, what I wanted to talk about last time is the state of MESBG. Right off the bat, what do you think? How do you think the game is doing currently? You play a lot more than me.
Yep.
How do you think the game is health-wise?
The thing is, the game as a whole, the rules and the whatnot, I think it's pretty healthy right now. I think there's a lot of players, even new ones coming back in, and
yeah, you were just saying that you went to, like, one of the bigger tournaments in Canada, and, like, a good, like, quarter of the people were new.
A third,
yeah. Wow,
yeah.
Good.
Or new players.
My proportions all wrong.
So yeah, the core rule set is still very strong, and I think that's
since 2001 or whatever, and it came out, right?
Yep. So that side of it is still doing well. The other side of it, the models we get and whatnot, well, that's where the issue starts.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'd call it obviously everyone wants new stuff. I was actually just because I made that kind of slightly sarcastic post on Instagram saying like it will ultimately be underwhelming, which obviously it was, but like, and someone was like, isn't the game in a really good place? And you know what, the game is in a very good place right now, like all things considered. And like I've said this before, I'm kind of, part of me doesn't want there to be new stuff in some ways. I think like you look at the kind of like how much futziness happens with like everything else, like with 40K and Sigmar and stuff, and how much continuous content comes out for that like, I don't know, it becomes so unbearably like so much stuff.
Yep.
It's hard to balance. There's so much of it, and as soon as you got the next thing, there's new things coming out, and like I don't want that to happen to MESBG. I kind of like being the like forgotten system in the corner. That just makes enough money to keep it on like the main website. But at the same time, it would be nice if there was a little bit more, or at least a little bit more consistency to the way stuff is released. And I'm sure a lot of it does still have to do with like COVID, like response and stuff like that, as that is still a thing. But yeah, that's a good point. Someone mentioned like why even include it if like, because I guess they said that they preempted everything by saying like we have lots of stuff in the pipeline but we can't show it yet. Then don't include it on the list of things. That felt very much like a tease.
It did, although a tease to what?
A tease to what? Well, tease to point everyone towards Warhammerfest who might not normally be looking at Warhammerfest, I would assume.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, we mentioned before, y'all don't give a shit about anything out of MESBG workshop-wise, and you just watched a stream about, like, Warcry and Underworlds. So, like, that's egg on your face there, buddy. It's not like someone told you to get up at 6 fucking o'clock in the morning to record a stream about it.
No, not at all.
No, it's not like someone pressured you into doing that. But yeah, whatever. Honestly, as I said, I'm happy with less content as long as the content is good, because like you look at like this is what I was kind of talking with someone on Instagram about it. Is like I keep saying talk about Instagram. I talk a lot in like comment. I tend to just, I know I can't just blanket say this. If you message me on Instagram, I'll probably answer you and say way too much stuff. So like I chat with a lot of people on there. But I was talking with someone, Alexander, I think. And yeah, like for what stuff we do get, there's a very wide range in like terms of quality of stuff we get at times. Like think about how many legendary legions there are. How many of them are good or get used or are broken?
3, 4, yeah.
Like half of them like don't get used. Some of them are unbelievably broken, have to be patched out, and some of them are so powerful that there's no point in using the regular lists. So like, I don't know. There's definitely some bloat there.
Yep.
But yeah. I just realized we look very podcaster as two white guys with beards and headphones. I think we look
is that a problem?
No, we look like we would be trying to do a podcast.
Is that a hint at something?
I did notice that. I don't know. YouTube apparently has launched a podcast hosting thing. There's a whole tab in like the creator window for like podcasts now. So
interesting.
On that note, not saying podcast, but like I do want to do more streams overall. I think it's fun. I like doing it. I hate the tech, but I do like doing it. And I think there's just having the kind of like conversation around it. I mentioned I really like what they've been doing over on like the painting phase with Peachy and everything. I think they've had some great guests on. They've talked about some really interesting stuff, and like while like, again, like it's maybe not as wide reaching, there's a lot of people in like the, again, specifically like the Tolkien Middle-earth wargaming space. I say this because I'm kind of extending it beyond just MESBG.
Yep.
That I think would be super interesting to talk to, and I would like to do. So I do want to start doing like maybe monthly. I don't know if I want to commit to that monthly, 1 month stream a month or something, and have people on to talk to stuff like you. Maybe a Justin. He's a pretty interesting guy. There's some other YouTubers I've talked to about doing it. There's some other podcasters I've talked to about doing it as well. So there would be fun things there. I'd love to get. I was posting about it, but like I was chatting again on Instagram with the guys like the Forge Master Minis who have been doing those elves that I've been working on recently.
Yep.
And we were talking about their kind of philosophy and like what they want to see in models and stuff, and it's very much aligned with me. So I'd love to have them on. Nice. Andrew is super interesting about Andrew Miniatures. Poke. I won't ask him about Rings of Power because he'll get mad. But like anything else, like I think it's really cool with him. Like he's moving not away from, but he's done the 3D printing and everything, obviously. But like he's moving into like producing his own metal miniatures too, which is super freaking cool. And I like the idea of someone transitioning from like the new style of releasing models into like the classic style. I think that's super interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agree.
Justin says we should do a podcast with both of us as hosts. Didn't we talk about? You talked about this a couple of years ago, and Justin did about doing something like that.
Yep.
Now we're just teasing shit at this point, and just
now we are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be fun. I just want to do more stuff because, like, again, turns out having a baby thing makes life busy. So I've been a little bit slower to make actual videos than I would like to be. So doing little streams here and there just to fill out the backlog in the category and have some more conversation with people I'd like to talk to would be fun.
For sure.
On that note, I would probably go another 15, 20 minutes just to chat a little bit, if that's okay with you.
Oh, yeah.
How are you? What are you up to hobby-wise? Because what did you take? You took Angmar to the last tournament you went to, right?
I did take Angmar.
An Angmar army that you totally painted yourself, right? And one that was not painted by someone who might be on the chat here?
I partially painted.
What are you painting it? Honest question, I just know.
Yeah, I had to paint some orcs for it because I didn't have enough. And the Witch King on foot.
I saw you pointed that. Yeah, I saw you posted about that, yeah.
Yep.
Which Witch King model?
The new one, the plastic.
One.
Yes.
Did you paint him mounted as well?
No.
Did you have him in the list mounted? And like
no.
Oh. You ran him on foot in the list?
Yes, on foot without the crown.
Do you need help? Like
no, I don't. He did great.
Yeah. That's interesting because I like an Angmar, and my list basically always starts with a captain and a relatively kitted out Witch King on armored horse with crown, mainly because that's the model I've made. But like, he's such a good combination of beat stick and control with the crown. So yeah, I guess there's so many options in Angmar.
Yeah.
Did you take Gully in that list?
I did take Gully in that list.
How do you find Gully?
Gully killed all of the heroes.
Killed all of the heroes?
All of the heroes. No more heroes on the tables after my games.
On the table. That's fun. Did he die ever?
He didn't even take a wound.
He didn't take a wound?
At all.
The whole tournament?
The whole tournament, I only had one hero who took a wound, and it was a Bear White.
Yeah, that'll do it. How many Bear Whites do you have is the real question.
Two in this list. Yep.
That's rookie numbers.
Yeah, but I still
actually,
have a shade. Man. Yeah.
Yeah. I took two when I was playing the other day, but ultimately I just wrote a list that's sitting over on my other desk.
Does it have 6?
No, it has 3.
Oh.
Because yeah, I do actually really want to go to that tournament. There's one of the, I was gonna call it one of the bigger tournaments, but I don't know if it actually is yet. It's trying to be one of the bigger tournaments in Canada. CTC. They do. It's like they're kind of trying to become like a full-on event, right? Like they've got like some vendors and tournaments for a whole bunch of different game systems.
Yep.
They filled up the space. Like, again, it was years ago that we went, and we just kind of hung out on the balusters. Balusters? No. What's it called? Balustrades? What's the word I'm looking for?
I'm not sure exactly.
Because it's like it's a. This sounds very Canadian. It's a curling hall that they rent out in the summer when it's not covered in ice, and so there's like a viewing balcony. And we ran like demos up there for MESBG, which basically just meant that nobody came up there because we were out of the way, so we just sat there and like chatted and played games. That was pretty early into the new edition too. We were like playing,
it was very early. Yeah,
we were playing some of the scenarios from that initial run. No, that was after Gondor at War, because I'd set up the Faramir defending the Gilead scenario. But 9 Barrow Whites, someone said they had an army. That's would be
too
a lot.
Much. That's too many.
No, it's not. Didn't you take? There was a tournament. Was it Canadian Shire a couple of years ago? You took. It was Gully, a couple of Barrow Whites, and just all the rest were specters.
I had 2 trolls, 1 Barrow White,
okay.
and the rest was specters. Yes.
Okay.
That is fun. Yep.
That
Specters
like
are fun.
Yeah, specters are super fun. Yeah, but anyway, long story short, it's a new tournament. I was supposed to run an event there, then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then I got busy. So I think it's Ben's running it right now.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
Ben's another local guy from our area.
Yeah.
We both live in the greater Ottawa Gatineau area, so that's kind of our region.
Yep.
Sorry, I guess I doxed you there.
All good.
Okay. But yeah, and it's a pretty good area, honestly. Gaming wise, there's a good community here, and it feels like a decent, because you have like a bit of the Quebec side and a bit of the Ontario side. Like, it's a good combination of players and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to someone else about this. We have so many good hobby shops here. There's
in Ottawa,
between Ottawa and Gatineau. There's
yep.
so many. Some of them better than others. Like, again, like, what was it? Like Multi-Zone. I like Multi-Zone. Bit weird to game in, I find. I've been there in a while. But like, I love Out of the Box in Ontario and Toronto. That's great. Ottawa. Old habits die hard kind of thing. And like, what I really like though is like we have a bunch of like non-gaming stores. Actually, it's not true. Trinity Hobby has kind of become a gaming store, but it's a relatively new one. But they're very cards oriented.
Yep.
Have you got cards from them before? I know you're a card boy.
I do, but I don't play much.
No. Are you still getting the Pokemon cards?
No. That's too expensive.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Because they're big into Pokemon there and Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that. I keep seeing them posting about that.
Yeah.
I love the Hobby Center. That is such a nerdy store. Like, even speaking as terms of like us, like it's scale model. It's a scale model store, is what it is. A scale model and like RC store. So you can buy a whole bunch of like scale model tanks from specific things, and then put batteries in them to drive them around. That's great. I want to go pick up.
Perfect. Yeah,
it's a good store, and I like them a lot. And they've been around for a long time. But yeah, it's a good community. There's a lot of people here, and I don't get up to game nearly as much as I would like to. I'm hoping to do that more.
Yes.
In the next little bit. And again, I want to go to that tournament, but it's 800 points. I wrote a list for it. That should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna take Angmar again?
Nope.
No? Do you want to say what you're gonna take?
Nope.
Sounds good. You're gonna take canned, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Just another note on this tournament is actually the Canadian Open for Articon. So, meaning that...
I think you can win a Articon ticket, eh?
Correct. You can win.
I saw that
Masters
post.
Articon.
I didn't think it was for... I didn't realize... I saw the post. I didn't realize it was coming from CTC.
Yep.
So, there you are. Are you going to go to Articon this year?
Probably not.
Yeah, me neither.
sadly, as much as I would like to.
One year.
It's a great
we need to
event.
do. We need
Yeah,
to
you
do it.
need to get there.
I've never gone.
Yeah.
Actually, never. I've never been to the. I want to say I've never been to the UK. I've never been to England properly. I've flown to England to then get to Scotland or Europe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I like Scotland. Scotland's fun. A lot of my family is historically Scottish and Dutch, so we got some European stuff there. You cannot tell because of my complexion. Obviously, I don't look European. But yeah, I'd like to spend more time in the UK. I'd like to really actually go, and there would have to be like I'd want to get to at least one event there. It'd be at Articon or. I was about to say something at Warhammer World, but then I realized like none of my armies I could play at Warhammer World. That's probably.
Could you not? Oh yeah, no.
I think almost every army I have has something that would not be allowed in it, probably.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. That is true. No, it's not true. I guess my Mordor list I could take. And I do want to like redo some stuff in that. Like, I've got 2 sets of the out of production orcs now.
Oh yes.
That I want to paint up for that.
Yeah.
That's a project I want to kind of bring back that army.
Oh
yeah. So yeah, tournaments, stuff like that. In terms of the game, just kind of closed out. Health of the game, I think it's actually in a pretty good place right now. I don't think we need anything, but the fear is that if we stop getting stuff, they're going to stop supporting it, kind of thing. Which again is a combination of like legitimate fears and like, I don't know, corporate bootlicking, but that's a whole different question. But what I think is the most exciting thing happening now, and no, I can't do that. I was gonna like commend myself for doing it, but like I feel like there's been a real push recently, and you see a lot more people posting non-Games Workshop stuff.
Yep.
And a lot more like I see a lot of people get bashing a whole bunch of orcs together and stuff like that. Or there was someone on a bunch of those things just posting a whole like Perry Miniatures themed what army? What is the army? The not Gondor boys. Fiefdoms army.
Oh yes, yeah.
I feel like you see a lot more of that lately, and I think it's probably a combination of just like people bored over COVID and so getting into stuff and realizing stuff's expensive, so going to other options.
Yep.
I think there's a lot more, and like I don't think I've ever seen a tournament picture in the last couple of years where I haven't seen at least one like Medbury miniature sculpt or the Valley or something.
Very true.
It's basically every elf army has the Valley miniatures in it at this point.
Yep.
Or at least a hero from someone else. So I think it would be, yeah, just saying, yeah, Mordor Ministers would be good at Warhammer World. But I think there's a lot more people who are willing to go like outside of the kind of classical lists to go and do that in miniatures and stuff. And I think that's honestly a healthier thing. And also just, I'm just rambling now.
It's okay. Go ahead. I like this ramble.
I think it's a good ramble. But like, my brain just shut off again. No, the other thing, and I think, again, going back to everyone's favorite topic, Rings of Power, I think there's also been a push for like people going outside of like the movie aesthetic, for lack of a better term. I think there's a lot more willingness and a lot more people who are like experimenting with things looking different than the movie.
Yep.
Rather than just like painting stuff different colors. And I think that is actually really exciting because it's 20 years. The movies have been out for 20 years. Lord of the Rings have been out a lot longer than 20 years. So like there's a lot more stuff to draw from.
Yep.
I love the page Wargaming in Middle Earth is a Facebook page. It's great. It gets so weird over there.
Oh, does it?
Well, this is it really does, and I'm amazed. There is like I don't want to say friendliness towards like the Rings of Power design, but like people are like, hey, it's not the movie. It's inspired by something else. That's at least good.
Yeah.
It's just really funny to see like a page that has so much like I don't want to say movie hate, but like a lot of people there hate the movie designs in like funny ways. And I think that element isn't healthy, but like the resulting creativity I think is really interesting.
Yep.
You got people who like elves can't have curved swords. Like that's one of the lines in the sand I see people draw, or like no plate armor. If there's plate armor, it isn't Middle Earth. And it's like, okay, I get it. I think it's a bit silly, but it's all about like your own kind of personal aesthetic, and I like that people are getting more comfortable exploring that personal aesthetic.
Oh yes, and it makes a lot more variety on the tables as well.
Absolutely.
I love seeing an army that I don't recognize, but you kind of get what they are.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's obviously a balancing act. If like
Yeah.
someone comes in with like just wild stuff, like it can be a bit tricky. But like as long as like you're on the same mental wavelength there. Like I remember, I don't want to call them old fashioned, but like GBHL feels a bit old fashioned to me in some ways. And like I remember someone, I don't remember who it was one of the GBHL hosts saying like when they go to a tournament, they're going because they want to see MESBG models. And I think I understand that in theory, but I can't get behind that. It's such a limit creativity wise.
It sure is.
Yeah. Yeah, people are just complaining about how little there was there in the stream again. Because going back to it, they're just giving us nothing. So like that's the other thing. Like if you're getting so little from that, like it makes sense that people are going off in like wild tangents. I was like, and there's so many options out there. Like I was just talking to someone again about like they were doing a spiders army, and like nobody uses the GW spiders.
No.
Why would you? They're so expensive, and there's spiders everywhere.
Yep.
Is it Dave in our group?
I think so. Yes. Yeah.
Has the spider howdah.
Yes.
I think I need to. I think I might steal that. Honestly, I think that would be the perfect great beast for my Mirkwood Angmar army. No, not Mordor army. Because I want to go back to that army. I really like that army. Actually, that one. No, there's too much GW in that one. I was gonna say like, I think the basis of those models is still GW because it's like Age of Sigmar stuff, but like it's a bit too much GW. I don't think they'd allow it there. I do want to do more GW. Like again, I'm gonna have a dragon that I'm planning to make out of a GW dragon. There'll be a fell beast. I want to do some trolls for it. I need to flesh out that army because right now it's just orcs and a few unpainted spiders. But yeah.
Oh, you'll get there.
I'll get there. Anyway, I think close this out. I need to go up. I think I hear a baby making sound upstairs. I should probably go deal with that.
Yep.
Because I just obviously left him in the middle of the room with no one watching him.
Yeah. Just on the floor there.
Yeah, He's good. He's 7 months. He can move every direction except for forward. He gets stuck on the couch, and then you just leave him there. It's perfect. I don't do that. That sounds horrible. Just before anyone gets on me, I think I'm a good father. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for joining me, Sam.
No problem.
For watching fucking nothing.
The one model. There's 2 minutes of
I guess you could call it 2 models because he does come off of the base, and the base does have characters on it.
Okay, fine. Two models.
I want to see someone like take a hacksaw and like cut up all the individual hobbits and put them on individual bases.
Yep.
Just all sitting around.
Or magnetize them.
Magnetize them. Yeah. I wonder if are they one piece or are they individual pieces?
Time will tell.
It makes me think of like the people who like take a bandsaw and cut right down the Forge World hobbit hole to get 2 hobbit holes.
Yeah. Oh man, those people.
For people's fingers. I'm pretty reckless when it comes to like woodworking and stuff, but even that makes me a bit squirrely. Unless you have like a fancy stop saw or something. Stop saws are cool. Do you know what a stop saw is?
Is that? Go ahead. I'm pretty sure.
They're really cool.
Yeah.
I worked at I did a couple of jobs as a woodworking instructor at summer camps back in university. One of which was for a very, very, very rich summer camp, and they had a table saw, but it was a stop saw. It's a brand, but like what it is basically the whole thing has a current running through it.
Okay.
And it's got a canister inside that I think literally has gunpowder in it. And so the idea is that if a finger or something that conducts electricity touches the blade, it completes the circuit, whacks off the thing, and like a bolt gets driven into the blade, to stop it instantly.
Stop it.
So like, I didn't see it, but like one of the guys I worked with touched it one year by accident, and like it damages the blade obviously, but like he didn't even get a cut in his finger, and he touched a going saw. So thank you for coming and talking about stop saws and woodworking with me, because that's what everyone is here for. Yeah, I stand vindicated that in terms of predictions, I think I was the only one who got it right, in that I said it would be underwhelming, and I was right. And y'all are nonsense. Anyway, thank you for coming. I do want to do more streams in the future. For now, though, have a good one all, and I am going to go have breakfast. Bye-bye, Sam.
Bye.